Johnny, I didn't do my research for this.
Oh my god.
I am. Wah, 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 wah. Oh man. Um, the hardcore Injustice, or Injustice, that's what we're calling it in the Immortal 8. But um, is this the show? And I don't know if it's this one or slightly thereafter, where they what's her name? It's not Janet.
Janice?
Whoever does their clothes must have got a big old roll of that gold
Oh,
material. And Tommy was so proud he ripped his shirt. And it was just a big gold dragon.
I remember.
Drizzling shits.
I remember this.
It looked like a Lego character shirt. You know what I mean? Like with the.
He was really
Anyways.
proud of that. Oh, okay, I got 2 more coming.
There's Claire Lynch. Claire Lynch, that feeds right into. Oh, you have that other Claire Lynch one too, right?
Let's see. Yeah.
Yo. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, poor Claire Lynch. Do you want to hear a true story? A true Jeff story? When I first started doing the TNAIW stuff, I was like, man, I'm gonna make this this mystery show, and I did. I made a mystery show. It was corny, whatever it was supposed to be, and it was fun. And me as Kristen and I fucking around first part of the pandemic, and I was like, oh, so the 8-episode arc was gonna be, you know, the mystery we were trying to solve was who kidnapped Samoa Joe, right? And the answer at the 8-minute arc, or the 8-minute, excuse me, the 8-episode mark, like the final episode, to be continued, I asked her if she wanted to be unmasked to be the person that kidnapped Samoa Joe.
What did she say?
She never fucking answered. She didn't even look at it. She just didn't even. She didn't bother. And it was so kind and sincere. I was like, I understand the community was harsh, but I think in this time, it's been long enough for you to own that shit. And
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I don't regret that.
And I mean, we just saying that, you know, you kidnapped Samoa Joe because you got mad for whatever.
Well, look, man, it's not even that. It's just that the Claire Lynch thing broke her, man, which I understand, but
yeah, Johnny
look,
was telling me.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I just thought she fell face of the earth.
No, these asshole fans. She quit. She never came back. These asshole fans on the trolls, man, hated the storyline so much, which understandable. I guess we could go into that. That's funny. And just she was olive oil at Universal Studios, and they found out, and they would find her and ridicule her. So pretty fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, Claire Lynch would be eliminated. Poor Claire Lynch. Although funny.
Poor Claire Lynch.
Poor
All right,
Claire Lynch, but funny.
All right, so those are the hardcore Justice results versus the original pay-per-view.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if y'all need it, I don't know. That's a lot of what I know.
Oh, the whole effing show. Okay.
As I just recreated Pope's entrance.
Yeah.
You mean Okada? You're welcome, Okada.
Wow.
So we had the FBI. Yeah, it was. You know, I'll make sure that's seen, man. It's just, to be honest, the show wasn't. I dug it. There's cringe moments. The names like what was it?
Mahoney.
Cojones.
Oh, cojones.
PJ Polaco.
Yeah, it used his real name.
That promotion in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
That promotion, yeah. Taz cut a promo like he gave a shit, but he doesn't at all. He gave no shits. Dudley's didn't want to be there.
Although,
got New Jack.
Oh yeah, and shout out to Bubba's breakdance spot.
Oh yeah, he
brought
went back to he went back to Dancing with Dudley's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So the lighting was pretty shitty, and then
Yeah.
The blue lights, yeah.
lights. I didn't get it as an avid ECW dude. Is that Main Event Mafia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's all about defy.
Love it. Respect.
Booker T get in the ring. Booker T whooping everybody's ass.
But yeah, Hardcore Injustice. The reason I didn't give a shit that it won't make it through was the. I didn't mind it. It was the problem was, I think at the time, was it took away from that other one you saw, that other card, the whole effing show.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the pay-per-view, and then all of a sudden the Paul Heyman deal went through, didn't happen. He wanted Dixie was scared or whatever, and so she polled the people, a test audience, and they said they still love ECW. So she tried to get Paul Heyman, didn't work out. Then through this pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. And where did they do that focus group? But Philadelphia. So
Wonder what
for
kind of
those
answers you
reasons, and the reasons that we find out that they paid them very little to do it. I think some of them were making like $250. They had like Sam Shaw playing Lupus, and Big Tilly playing Blue Meanie. The little cringe moments sucked, but there was a lot of good ones too. And that Too Cold Scorpio CW Anderson
Yeah.
match, I was hoping we would have got a best of 3 or something out of that, but we didn't.
I'm mad we didn't get a Too Cold Scorpio run in TNA. Like, he would have been a fun little addition for the X Division.
I agree, especially right after that, but that's when they were pushing all the other shit we're gonna to talk about, I imagine.
Was he in the early years at all? Too cold?
I was just trying to think of that, and I don't think so. Even
I
for
think
that,
he would have cycled through those.
the only thing I might,
Right?
well, the only thing I'm thinking is there was that really. I actually liked it when TNA had NWA TNA had the weekly Wednesdays.
Yeah.
There was a little week-to-week ECW group. It wasn't EV 2.0, but it was whatever. So this was 2002 or 3.
I know what
And
you're talking about.
I mean, Perry Saturn came in with face tattoo, and PJ Polacco and all those were saying. But it was actually kind of cool. But they had a name, and I can't remember what it was. I think Francine even made a debut, and basically to sell the pay-per-view, it was who's standing in the ring when the lights come off or come back on. Excuse me. And it was usually someone random. So Too Cold Scorpio might sneak in Jeff Forgot's TreeHouse.
I have watched my fair share of Asylum years, more times than probably Jeff Jarrett has. I don't.
You don't remember all of them. So. Okay, so with the roster moves, I got a little something.
Roster moves that came crashing down and hurt inside.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs the middle. Looking back on it, were these moves in the grand scheme of things something that was worth it? All right. Wait. Is this Daniel?
Angle.
What it?
Angle.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I'm only hearing the. So I thought it was
That was Amazing Red.
All right. So here we go. First, foremost, I think we can all. I mean, this is gonna be an easy one. Austin Aries. Cool. Oh shit! I just got a big Austin. All right. Let's see who's next up here. Kenny King. Oh, now I hear it. Nice. Oh,
I rather enjoyed Kenny's time.
next was RVD. First run, second run, great.
He didn't win shit in his second run.
Hey, doesn't matter if you win. It's about if you left an impression. All right. Next up is Ken Anderson with the immortal belt in his hands. If I could go back in time and erase that era, that little part of it, and I like Anderson, but it was just I got to think of there's just everything, and then all the FTNA stuff after he left. I just
Everybody and their mother FTNA'd on their way out.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Fuck them. But
He was a 3-time champion in a matter of a week. It felt like.
No,
and he did more heel turns than Big Show. He was back and forth.
I mean, if anybody who better than him, he plays that good guy that yeah, I like him. And then he's also a really, really good heel.
Yeah, he's a good heel.
And Anderson and Angle was the storyline of the year 2010.
Maybe I've harbor some bad feelings towards that because it should have been Angle versus Desmond, number 5. All right, Zema Ion, who later became DJ Z.
He got dissed by Rick Ross. That was always funny.
I don't know enough of his later years.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
No.
I mean, he made enough. I'm say overall positive.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah, that was his name at the time. So we're talking about first run, this run, Hogan signing. Yeah, that was a big old dump.
Yeah, because it's just
strictly... He didn't do anything. It was just a waste of his momentum that he. Well,
did he really have momentum? He was fucking festive.
No, I mean, he could have went straight to New Japan.
But he came over though from the Straight Edge Society, though, right?
Yeah,
he had already moved on to Festus.
Yeah,
to Aces and Eights.
So he was a big reveal. All right.
Has anyone other than Devon and Bubba won a belt in Aces and Eights? It might have went a little better because Doc and Nux, you couldn't have told me they would have been decent tag champs for the Aces and Eights.
Oh yeah. But no, it's just everything with the Hogan era, and I think that will be a general theme or trend is that it's always good ideas, bad execution.
Yeah.
So next up is Nux. Well, now they had the menagerie, which was interesting, and it brought Crazy Steve. So I'm gonna go I will give in the middle.
Right, we do have that option. Yeah.
No, I'm going down. He had two different stables, 2 chances to do an impression and get over, and he scrubbed out both.
Man, I liked him enough. I thought he had potential. Taz loved him. All right. The re-signing, and I don't know if this is fair because Low Key is and won't be in this as well, but Gail Kim. You can't. Yeah, you can't.
Oh yeah.
Winter.
Oh man.
Look. Here's where I'm torn, because on one note, it's Katarina. On the other note, it's Winter, and she's a champion. She was a 2-time fucking knockouts champion.
And Robbie is a former exhibition champion.
Fair enough. Point proven. I mean, if you are looking at the same picture, yeah, I'll go this. I'm gonna go this because it was the storyline that did her. The character and the idea of what they were doing could have been cool. Once again, execution.
Yeah. All right. Fair.
I'm the bar. So. All right.
We are the bar.
Oh, Low Key is back on here. So they got Low Key back after the whole Caval run. So, all right, Jeff Hardy. If he never comes to Scott Hall,
My God.
if he never comes,
Greatest merch ever.
if it was just based on the Hogan shit, it gave too much bad publicity. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
It did, but I mean,
Think of all the garbage he was involved with.
think of all the dope shit he did.
That's true as well. Think of all the dope he was involved with. Taryn Terrell.
Yeah. Yeah.
The band. So it's Kevin Nash. Well, Kevin Nash was already there. So we'll say Scott Hall and X-Pac for that run. Yeah. I was thought about it, but then, why you gotta fucking hide it for? Or whatever. Also in the picture is Bubba the Love Sponge.
Ugh.
Bubba gets the thumbs down.
Look,
but for the band,
if nothing tells you that Hulk Hogan may be a little racist, is that his best buddy he made sure to bring into the company literally got Awesome Kong fired and then called her really horrible names. Literally called into a radio station to harass her. Piece of shit. All right. Rockstar Spud. Yeah, he'll go somewhere in there. Yeah. I'm a. Yeah. All right. Chavo Guerrero.
Oh.
He was
did
on
he
the.
win the X belt?
No.
He was a
won
tag.
the tag titles.
Tag titles, but
Thumbs down.
like
I
not.
believe he should have won the X belt. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck.
But you had a thumbs down.
Yeah, because he didn't win the X belt.
All right. Todd Kennelly.
Uh,
All right. China. Yeah. Matt Hardy. Cold-blooded Matt Hardy. Excuse me.
cold-blooded. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nasty Boys. Wes Briscoe. Or Wes. Alex Silva.
I don't.
He was the first gut check winner that shouldn't have. That Ric Flair just randomly gave a contract to when he wasn't supposed to.
Right. Oh my God.
Sam Shaw.
Yeah.
Lady Tapa. Christian York.
Yeah.
Damn it, I feel so bad. The girl, Taylor Hendricks.
Let me switch hands.
Jesse Sorensen with a football.
No.
Mark or Matt Haskins, whatever the fuck his name is, with the fur coat.
Was it
I
different?
just like CGI. My
Dakota
family,
Darso.
Who the fuck
Oh my
is
God.
Sean Morley. Well, I forget his name in TNA, but his Scorpio Sky.
Oh.
Mason Andrews.
Yeah.
Sangriento. Anarchia.
Oh God.
Garrett Bischoff. Brooke Hogan. Jesse Goddard.
Thumbs up for Bischoff. Okay, we're still.
Jesse was.
Jesse's,
Passable.
yeah. Because
Hey,
I mean,
remember-
we popped when the
remember
bromance
Man?
won. Popped when the
Yeah.
Remember?
Robbie E. and Cookie. I'll go there. It was entertaining at the time, but they went for the wrong titles, and they fish out. I mean, the reason they did them to get audience from that show, Jersey Shore, and then
Aired it on the same night.
aired it at the same night at the same time.
It didn't
All right.
cross from yeah.
A very long crimson.
It's that.
Brian Kendrick. Tony Nese.
Yeah.
King Mo. Orlando Jordan.
Hey.
All day OJ.
How did it? It was a short run though, right? It was like less than a
he was
year.
in caution
Yeah.
tape, and then he would squirt stuff on himself that was white.
But then he was
Him.
linked up with EY, and they were being so.
That was but I love the character. I'm gonna be honest. He was the dream before the dream, and
Yeah.
Santana Garrett was with him.
Yeah.
I'll just
Wait till you watch this back, guys. You better watch this episode. Joey Ryan, Ric Flair, Gunner.
Ric Flair. Oh, I think Ric
Right
Flair.
in the middle. And the
Gunner.
thumbs downhill for Gunner.
Gunner, Pal,
Somebody's
Murphy.
No way.
Okay,
Any more on the list?
So no, that was it. The one thing I do want to mention. So I said Pal, but I don't know if you ever caught this, or this is a big thing on the internet. I've never looked it up. I've never mentioned anyone else really like made a joke about it, I don't think. But there's an interview. Ric Flair is just being Ric Flair, going, whatever. And he's like, and you'll face my boys or whatever, like trying to hype him up. He's like, Gunner, and in live television, he goes, Pal. Yeah.
Pal?
No, Pal. And they got to be like,
Pal.
raw. So
Yeah, Pal.
Pal was cut a couple weeks later.
Well, speaking of, that influx of people that came in, I guess we can move on to like the Monday Night
Oh, sure.
Massacre. So are we counting like March and onward as far as like that, or do you want to count like that first January episode?
Everything.
That Hogan
Hogan run.
Brett.
Yeah, Brett versus.
Oh
Brett
yeah, Hogan
counter,
versus Brett.
programming. Yeah.
Yep. That fake hug. Yeah, I'm gonna hug you. Yeah, well, I can't say what he would call him.
The one thing that did piss me off that they did
Yeah.
During the Monday Night Impact era, I think it was AJ versus Kurt, and they did a screw job angle.
Oh yeah, you were Earl Hebner.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
because I remember Kurt saying, "If this is the shit going down, I'll just go back up to Connecticut."
Yeah, just horrible fake shoots.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was in general, I think the reason I'm eliminating or never voted for this to go go further in the tournament is I don't think it was a massacre. I think it set out what it was supposed to do. I look at the numbers and shit, man. I got stats, but I think part of it was there was some good stuff. It's just like Phantom Menace, man, like Star Wars, Yeah, there's some things that it's like, come on, man, really, Jar Jar, or this or that, or whatever you judge it by, right? But same time, you get Darth Maul, you get Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. That never happens. You get, so there's things that are you got to take the art for everything. So I would still take the Monday night thing happening. The problem was booking was shit, so it gave the trolls something to joke about, and then the pussy fans couldn't take the trolls shitting on them because this was the birth of the internet. So they cried about it. But Spike TV's and all of TNA's point of doing it was to drag people to Thursday. Like Spike was happy. The only reason they switched back to Thursday, and they even switched back, they always were going to play the replay. So they just said whatever we get against WWE is a victory. And they got 8.75 million viewers in the course of the whole Monday Night Wars. To the WWE's 33.34, which is a difference of 24.59, but it is 8.75 million more than AEW has gone against Monday Night Raw. So it's pretty good.
Well, to be fair, AEW hadn't gone against Raw. That would be a good little.
Let's see, because they went up against TNA. They didn't go up against. They went up against. So they didn't go up against. So I mean, I would love to see it.
I think it stands a chance.
I don't think so.
I mean, on a like a one-off, like a
one-off.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah. And it'll do well. But I just for that reason alone, I just think that they tried. They had the balls to do it. There was hype. They got some viewership. They got some good things that happened out of those matches. There was a lot of some cool shit that they put in there. yes, all the returns were iffy. Jeff Hardy just murdering homicide, pun intended, after he got stuck on the cage. You know what I mean? So there's some shit, man. Your guys' thoughts?
The 5-minute beatdown on
oh,
yeah. I think, and it was the debut episode.
Okay.
So the second, like the first one that happened in March when they officially went on Mondays was it cut when Jeff was hitting the swanton, or like right before he was about to hit. So like there was some production growing pains too with the move.
Hey, but I will say this: during the Mondays, that is when we got that random but dope night with Jeff versus Rob, and then the winner of that fought AJ for the belt, and that's when Rob won the belt on 4/19.
That's true.
Yes,
but he didn't hook the leg. There was red and yellow confetti. Why, man? Why did that have to happen? And there was no build-up. Just because it was 4/19, there was no. They were not alluding to that. There was like, oh, it's 4/20 tomorrow. Let's.
I mean, I guess they were just banking on the fact that where it's like in one night we're gonna have Rob Van Dam versus Jeff Hardy, and then the winner of that versus AJ Styles. You're guaranteed a bang. Like you're guaranteed 2 bangers.
I would call it.
Which is what we got. Wow.
And you're looking at it like that. That's half glass full. I appreciate that.
Plus, it was all live too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, TNA for the longest time, other than the weekly Wednesdays, was taped.
That live tape thing, I kind of dug that.
Oh right, it was alternated.
Yeah.
And then for the summer, they would like say, you know what, brother, we're going live all summer.
Yeah.
With me back in the day, I was like, oh shit.
It won't be spoiled, finally.
Right.
Oh, guys. Means we could go to the Fortune 4. All right, Fortune 4. All right. Who's up? Who wants to take it, or we want to just go for it? Let's start with rebranding. Okay. You guys talk. Whoever's gonna. If you guys got something to talk about that, all I got to say is they alienated the fans. 4 sides. I thought this should be at least in the terrible too, man. It was just a lot of the people who they brought in. They just killed what made it was WWE light. The fans were right, and you couldn't lie about it. There was no care. I don't care about the 6 side per se because it's harder on the wrestlers. Mm-hmm. It's gimmicky. It already did its thing, and to get set us aside. But then to change not only the aesthetic, but then it was just a weird. The whole vibe was killed. The whole spirit of it was killed. And there was a lot of big meaty dudes. They brought a lot of dudes in that they wanted to put over as the next.
I mean, I was with it. I was with like all the change. The initial from 6 sides to 4, the redone Impact set, all that. I was with all that up until Impact Wrestling became a thing because they got so fucking confused.
Convoluted.
And like every time someone cuts a promo, I'm going to show you how I'm one of the best wrestlers in TNA and Impact Wrestling. What's the difference?
Because it was TNA on the pay-per-view, right? Or is Impact Wrestling on the TV show?
And
the belts were TNA.
Impact Wrestling apron, ring apron. But you got the TNA logo on the fucking Tron.
Impact's a brand of TNA.
Like if it's just a show, like if it's just a Raw or SmackDown, you need to have something that's, the SmackDown.
Fucking frustrating.
Stupid. It was just dumb. It was just really, really dumb. Do we have anything to add to that rebranding?
Something like it starts like the authority figure deal. Like a lot of the time was taken up by like Bischoff or Hogan segments. Oh my God. Story wise versus the sports side.
Sting was an authority figure.
Oh yeah.
It was the as much as they wanted outside the box, they were where wrestling matters and all this different weird shit. they never stuck to that identity. They were just, it was like they were like politicians. The facade was that we care about, we want it to be our own brand. We're TNA, we're Wrestling Matters. But the real heart of it, they wanted to be WWE Light. I mean, they were fighting over the WWE rings, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up.
Look it up, brother.
But yeah, no, Hogan, I think that's why I mean, they're kind of the same. I think the other one we're getting rid of is Hogan Gonna Hogan. And I think that all rolls into each other. It's all the same shit. Says one thing, does the other. You start at Madison Square Garden, and then he won't even fucking mention your name on his midget wrestling or game or video games.
Championship wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the amount, I guess, that they invested per appearance and per show. Like, there wasn't anything outside of what he was, I don't know, what they were in control of. Like, if it wasn't in that environment, I don't know how much he added to it outside.
Right.
Like, I mean, I guess there was, like, radio appearances, maybe.
I mean, even Ric Flair was, I mean, I know this is Hogan and Hogan, but I mean, these are his people. Ric Flair was at something on ESPN, and it just said former WWE wrestler or something like that. And Scott Hall it was, I think, a mix of it so Hogan sticks out. So I understand why it made it this far, obviously, especially about what I'm about to talk about. But the Howard Stern appearances where he was just literally shitting on Robert Roode, and it was supposed to be his moment literally that night, and then changed it because allegedly he didn't want his face turn to be outshined by the championship win.
Oh, you talking about Philly?
Philly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he would go on to Howard Stern and say, he's not ready, brother. I mean, and maybe we're wrong. Maybe the sheets are, all that's wrong, that rhetoric. But then they gave it to James Storm in that weird Angle was really hurt match that just super kick, boom, Sickman. And then the heel turn, which ended up being great. So if that was the real reason, then cool. But it was just, it didn't feel like that was the real reason.
It was a weird way to get to where they wanted to get to. Like, they could have had Bobby win the belt at Bound for Glory and then, defend against Kurt. And then it's like, hey, James, want to have a friendly competition? Yeah. And then,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's poetic for your best friend, to win the championship and you get screwed out of it, basically. And then you're supposed to be happy for him, and then you get your match, and then you go on an obsessed run with the championship, which is the longest reigning champion in TNA history. So,
if you explain that whole scenario just like that,
yeah,
then it sounds beautiful.
Hey, well, that's
but in its most bare bones way, yeah, he lost to Kurt and then won the belt 3 weeks later anyway.
Right.
Not from Kurt. That sounds stupid. But
see, that's why I always give Vince Russo the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes his ideas are good. It might just be how he communicates them, because I don't sound the same I do over text. If my thoughts through text were how I talked, people would not talk to me. At all. I'm not a very good communicator of my thoughts. So this is therapeutic, I guess, is what I'm saying.
So another thing about I guess during this time period, there was the whole Hogan video game issue.
Right, that's what I was mentioning. Yeah, he had a side. What was it?
It's like WWE 14 or something. Like, they rolled over some old deal where he had agreed
to, I guess, deal with 2K, but not WWE. I think that's the whole thing.
Exactly. So he was featured in 2K14 and something else while he was actively still under the Impact deal. And so people are thinking he had heat with the company, but it was basically he didn't have the deal with WWE direct.
Hogan gonna Hogan, and his daughter.
Hogan
Hogan
runs wild on you.
Brother. Okay, speaking of that, I got a little treat for us.
Hey.
This is a poem. No, not a poem. It's a. I'll just go fucking read it. It's beautiful. Okay. Well, you know something, Mr. Anderson? I think you might have forgot where you're at, brother. You're in Boston, Jack. Number 1. Nobody in Boston is scared of no ghosts. Confusion in the audience. And that's me narrating. Number 2. We sure as hell ain't afraid of no stinking terrorists. And this is legit. 3, brother. No, he says, number 3. We're not afraid of 3 pussies wearing leather, brother. All right, well, it goes on. This is a classic. This is a classic. So the way it goes, man, this is not aces and eights night. It's real. I don't, thrusting the air at the word night. The way it goes, Joseph Park is going to start a roll by taking away the TV championship from aces and eights at Devon. No reaction. Oh, man. It was, yeah. So then it pauses and he says, Garrett, you just need to shut the hell up. I just might bitch slap your ass. You're a bitch and your old man's a bitch, okay? The second thing that's going to happen... What? Oh, man. Okay. The second thing that's going to happen is that the greatest wrestling in this damn business, confusion across the arena, Sting, who's 54 at the time, he is going to punk out Bully Ray. So I'm guessing punk, it was a reference. I don't know. I thought he was perked out at this moment, but he's going to punk out Bully Ray and bring the power back to TNA, brother. So seeing how I'm the general manager and you guys seem to be foaming at the crotch, at this point, Todd Kennedy laughed. Like he made a weird noise. So let me repeat that. I lost my place. Plus, I want to read it again. So seeing how I'm the general manager and you guys seem to be foaming at the crotch, we might as well get this whole night started right now because you 3, Garrett, Briscoe, and you, Anderson, you're in a 6-man tag right now against Magnus, no reaction or music. And then he covers by going, you're against Magnus. That's the noise. I wrote it as NAOH. Okay. Then Magnus's music plays. He enters to mild applause, whatever. And then he's in the ring. Goes, Magnus is going to have a little help from the most dangerous man in the company, Samoa Joe, brother. So Samoa Joe comes out. All right. And I'm going to try to get through this. Okay. Forgive me. Maybe it's not as funny, but if they're here watching this is what they're here for. Magnus is going to have, Samoa Joe, brother. And before I announce the third man that's going to tear you 3 apart, I want to let everybody know in here, get ready to tear the roof down because with Joe and Magnus in the Magna Jamigna, Jeff Hardy out here, you're in a load of trouble, brother.
And what are the
and Taz covered by going, he said charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy? But yeah, he said and I've practiced this with Kristen. I've looked at this moment multiple times and geeked out. In the Magna Jamigna. So I question you guys to say this. Have any of you actually heard his racist rant videos? Because he might have just been announcing Jeff Hardy the whole
So then what does Hogan have against Jeff Hardy? How come he don't want Brooke dating Jeff Hardy? What the fuck?
Yeah, he just doesn't want Brooke dating Jeff Hardy. I implore you. Well, we'll put all the links because this is a show after all. Put all the links in the thing there in bio, whatever, the description of maybe if we could find them online, if we could find these moments, we can, or at least on the YouTube, their YouTube channel. There's a lot of clips. I saw that on YouTube, the quality shit, but if you have the app, it's worth watching over and over again. It's definitely worth it. There's also commentary in between, so it's fucking worth it.
Yeah, I'm so glad you. I thought we may have forgotten that.
No, I wrote it down.
Like,
I sat here and transcribed it.
Hip thrust. Yeah, he was all over the place.
Yeah. And as a big avid Ghostbusters dude here, I don't know if he thought he was in New York City or Boston was in the movie, was in Afraid of Ghosts or had a lot of ghosts.
Yeah, that's right. Like, how where's that bridge?
Where does his mind?
Baseball.
Baseball?
Some ghost, the curse of somebody's ghost, the Bambino's ghost or some shit. I think
did they win that year?
Football?
No, because Fever Pitch came out when they.
Well, that might have been another year they won because they did win another after the fact.
You're right.
But he could have just been referencing that period.
But I'm going to say, based on the crowd reaction, they gave no shits and had no clue. They popped for the terrorists, which led me to believe that there was a Boston terrorist at that time.
Oh, the marathon.
Marathon, yeah. Respect for talking about it and such. Yeah. But yeah, all right. Well, let's move on to the terrible two.
Terrible.
Terrible. It's terrible. Terrible
terrible.
too. It's so terrible. No one's gonna watch this.
Everyone's gonna watch this.
All right. So we got two left: Victory Road ¡88, Abyss, the next John Cena, and
that damn Victory Road 1988, boy.
That was the jams. That was IPWF back then.
I swear.
So Abyss, the next John Cena. Let's talk about the deconstruction, the destruction of the Abyss, however you want to put it.
In the why, like I'm guessing, like I'm trying to think of like how Abyss started and like what level he was going in. He was always seen as like an original, I think, because like he was there very early on, and then once the whole Hogan era came along, I feel like he was probably like one of the few that they tried to bring along to be like, hey, we still think, we're behind this dude.
Here's the quick rundown I'll give you. And I want to get Lucha's take on this because he's the Hogan Era guy. So you had, we'll skip Prince Justice, but he's basically a day oneer, but in a different whatever. Then he came in as Abyss. He was in the New Church, didn't talk. Actually, no, I don't think he was in the New Church. I might be skipping.
He came through with like Goldilocks.
Are we just thinking Sinister Minister?
I'm thinking Sinister Minister and getting Malice and all them intertwined, and Primetime Brian Lee and shit. Okay, so no, he comes in. He's with Goldilocks and Baby Bear Alex Shelley. Then he's seen as the guy who could put on great matches with AJ and is always wet and has like the chain. And he's doesn't talk. He's just pain. Yeah, but good. Very good. They say he's 6'7" but he's like 6'5", 6'6", 6'8", 6'8" maybe. But yeah. So he's seen as like a monster Abyss. Then he goes and has James Mitchell as his father, and then they go and say Judas Messias is his brother. Then they say his mother's dead. Then the mother eventually writes TNA to try to find out where he is, and Joseph Park. So this is all before that, though. I'm skipping a little. So long story short, he was the monster. He was great. He was went to Dr. Stevie at the point right before Hogan. So he was learning how to talk, I guess, or maybe they alluded to him talking a little bit or something.
He got a girlfriend.
Did he?
Yeah, the blonde announcer chick.
Oh, Lauren, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, but long story short, so
sisters with Taylor Wilde and shit.
Yeah, he did that stuff with Mick, and he was basically you're a ripoff and whatever, and then Mick Foley forgot to kick out and that shit. But he was in between groceries and what he eventually becomes. So then when Hogan came in, the first match he lost was against fucking Kennedy or Anderson. And then from there, they saw him as the next John Cena, as in he's so animated backstage. So then they gave him Joseph Park and the Hogan stuff before that. You know, so I don't know, man. They saw something in him. They really believed in him. And I guess his size they liked. He's a funny dude. I mean, I like Joseph Park and all, but I think he was seen as a guy who should have won the title. And then it was kind of just drained out of him. And then he went to the X Division. And then he did the Art of War. Yeah, it was just it was very flippy floppy, and it ruined the character in my eyes. I think that's the best way to, to put it. Then he got his teeth knocked out.
Yeah, that was a very interesting take. I don't know, man. It's like, they started off with the whole Hogan thing with him when they gave him the Hall of Fame ring, and that was like the ass cheeks.
Yeah,
so bad.
So
but then the lead up to the whole they storyline and them, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that kind of got a little closer to online with the progression of Abyss, like kind of being a little loopy. He was always crazy, but he was never like, vocal about it. You know what I'm saying? So then everything up until the reveal was kind of cool because I was more in tune with it. He was violent. He damn near murdered Van Dam.
Oh, the Immortal, they're here with the misspelled they're here. Yeah.
Hey, in their defense, that wasn't their sign.
It was a plant. There's no way in hell that wasn't a plant.
Yeah, that had to be a plant.
There was no one who gave a shit about Immortal. Right?
Well, because I mean, you got to think about it. They were hyping that shit up for a while. Like,
doesn't mean it was good.
It could have leading into it though, because like I remember vividly, there were people who really believed that Nexus was going to show up and beat everybody's ass on 10-10-10. I remember that. Yeah.
I guess we're different ages though. So Johnny, we were 10-10-10. We were spoiler here.
We're talking about age.
Yeah.
I jumped right there. I mean, it started very, very bloody. It got cleaned up around right after Slammiversary. At least for me, it kind of got terrible to watch around Slammiversary 2010, and then all the way up in the Bound for Glory. 10-10-10 is like the greatest worst sandwich ever. Because it was a great beginning match. Everything else was shit. Everything else was shit. Everything else was shit. Dope main event.
Man, here's the thing about 10-10-10 though. That the turn was cool. We were, I thought it was brilliant storytelling to do the whole lead up for Jeff Hardy just to keep losing, and everyone was like, "Man, they're booking Jeff Hardy like shit," And then he ends up turning, and that's the reason and wins. And that's a stroke of genius. And I think we can sum up the Hogan era with is just like that little piece is beautiful. Like, that's a beautiful storyline. It's the in between that spiral that binding they never filled in, man, of that spine. And it's just always like, okay, so that's a great idea. But now we have Jeff with Hogan and Bischoff in a group with Hogan, Bischoff, Abyss, and Jarrett. And that makes no fucking sense at all.
Now, see, here's where I put on my fantasy booker hat. Because, like, out of that whole stable, the one thing that fucking stuck out like a sore thumb was Abyss. So, had they...
Yes, that's fair.
With Jeff lined up with all them, it's like, all right, well, shit, Jeff. Hogan and Flair and all them, they're like, well, shit, Jeff, you're big time now. We're going to make you big time. So you're going to have to, like, kind of alter a little bit. So
if it was all main event dudes, like Main Event Mafia was, or if it was all WWE established guys, rejects or not, that's cool. But you throw Gunner and Pal and Abyss and Jarrett even. Yeah, Jarrett could work, but it wouldn't make sense for him to hate Hogan and Bischoff for taking over his company, but it's his that fucks with my brain.
I would have thought though. Eventually, it would have ended with like Jarrett and Abyss, kind of standing up for the TNA
You're right.
of old. You know what I'm saying? And then we have a Hardy and Abyss match at somewhere.
And them are the storylines that would make sense, but we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any of that shit.
They wanted the whole put the final nail in the NWO storyline.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Let's string Rob Van Dam along for like 4 months on his world title shot, and then finally give it to him in a 3-way.
He almost died. You respect him. He almost died for this company. Oh God! All right. So last but not least, Victory Road '88, and I'm gonna be quiet for 88 seconds while you guys talk, and I'll be back when I say something. Just want to prove a.
Yeah.
Shit, Johnny.
All right, Lucha. Yeah, do you remember what else happened on the show?
The opening contest, if I'm not mistaken, was like Austin Aries versus Bully Ray. And what was an interesting matchup.
Okay, let's.
If I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. I just pulled up the card myself. Aries. No, Aries was not on this show. Let's see. Opening match was Tommy Dreamer defeated Bully Ray. Falls Count Anywhere.
I'm thinking of 2012.
Yo, that might be the gold. If that is the gold, that is why this one won. Because if that's the gold dragon, that adds to it.
Oh, I sure hope so.
I sure hope so as well. Because we would have Drizzling Shit Award would go to the right thing.
Was that 83 seconds?
No, I didn't even do it yet.
Should we run down the whole card or just?
Yeah, fuck it, go for it.
Give me the card.
It won. You got to give it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of 2012, so
right.
I'm hot.
So
next... give it its flowers, but I'm gonna press start and be quiet while you do it. On your mark.
So are we starting over, or?
Oh, just go. Yeah, just go.
All right, so we had the opening match was Tommy Dreamer defeated Bully Ray. Falls Count Anywhere match. Yeah, exactly. So Rosita and Sarita was a women's tag. They defeated Angelina Love and Winter. It says Winter. Okay, so I guess Angelina Love and Winter were the tag champs at the time. So Hernandez defeated Matt Morgan. First Blood. I can imagine. Was that
in a First Blood match?
Was that before or after their whole Matt Morgan's the tag team champion?
I think that was after that. I think that was the split.
Okay. Yeah, First Blood match. Seems like a lot for that feud.
Matt Morgan and Hernandez.
Right. Next they had an Ultimate X match for the X Division title. Kazarian went in as champion and he won. He beat Jeremy Buck, Max Buck, and Robbie E with Cookie. So
right when I was about to fix my mouth to say, that doesn't sound half bad.
Oh, Robbie E.
And Robbie E. Lost all respect.
That's probably. I bet that's just the comedy bits that I'm sure Kaz and the Bucks, held it down.
All right.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was good. I self-reflected. I thought about it. I was trying to tell you that the KO tag match was 4 minutes long. I was trying to word that. Also, that X Division match does sound the Drizzling Shits, but it was actually really good. It was the only highlight of that show, if I'm not mistaken. But I just want to say that Johnny and I, our friend James at the time, and maybe Sean, I don't know who was there else. We watch these pay-per-views and we chip in together $30, whatever. So whatever. If you paid for the main event, You paid $30 for what I just was quiet for. That's fucking the shits. And what did they offer? Can anyone answer that? What did they offer to the people who paid for it?
Oh.
They had like a little bullshit streaming service on their website, and it was like TNAIW or something like that.
Yeah, on demand.
And they offered like, I think it was either a whole month or even a whole year for free.
6 months.
6 months.
And didn't you get a little bonus
For me?
too? Yeah.
No, that was a
that
different
separate?
time.
Okay.
Dixie personally sent through Cox, our cable provider, sent me a box with a signed letter and stuff. I've told this story, I think, on the shows. And it had a bunch of CDs, emergent CDs, and pictures and toys. I don't remember. Oh, sticky notes I have still. It's across the line.
Swag.
Very clever. What's that?
Swag.
Swag, yeah, essentially. And it said, thank you for ordering all our pay-per-views, loyal customer, whatever. And then a picture of her with her, teats out. And Jeff! That's all it says. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so 88 seconds of basically, I get to the ring. Oh shit, something's wrong here. Eric Bischoff, I'm back, or whatever his fucking music is. He comes out. He calls an audible, and the only reason in my research for this, and the only reason he calls the audible is because the only one at Gorilla, even though he's not producing the fucking show. He is just a guy.
The only one with experience.
He's the only one with
of running a
experience.
show and was actively doing it.
That's why I don't hate on him. I can't hate. So that happens. They call the audible. He does the DDT, reverse DDT, Scorpion Death Drop. He rolls him up. Jeff's trying to get out of it. Crowd chants bullshit, and we hear the best.
I agree. I agree.
Sting, such a beacon of hope and understanding. But yeah, he agreed, and that was the Drizzling Shits. What a day in infamy, and it deserves to win for that reason alone.
But
No.
I'm not gonna disagree. Okay. But I'm just gonna bring this little small silver lining into the equation.
All right.
It led to the retirement of that fucking belt.
The immortal one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't like 2 weeks later we got the TNA Big Bowl.
So if we are, I think when I was doing this in my head, I'm thinking of the one thing. If I could go back in history and erase one thing from the Hogan era, and live with the rest, like that's the thing, I would choose that moment of Victory Road '88. So I can't say that would be it. I mean, no, I say Victory Road '88 is it. Like, I would deal with all the other garbage to not have Jeff Hardy in that main event. And I feel bad for him in retrospect, and it was just a bad look for all of us as fans. It just was.
My other thing I was gonna say, I'm a little mad that Jeff couldn't wrestle that fucked up. Fucking British Bulldog put on a classic with Bret Hart on crack. Fucking crack. And you mean to tell me that whatever Jeff, like,
ECW was built on crack. And meth and amphetamines. Well, we got our victor. We got our champion. I do want to say that the Victory Road '88. I might. Well, whatever year it really is. The tagline was, ironically, victory is reserved. Victory is reserved for those who are willing to pay the price. I paid $29.95 for 88 seconds of that main event, and it was the Drizzling Shits.
And that's how people who order boxing pay-per-views feel.
Because they can in anytime, yeah.
Wasn't
that a thing?
Spending like $80. Yeah, you spend $80 on a whole
That's
fucking
true.
fight party. You get a gang of people through, and it's like, oh shit, man, I've been waiting for this fight for like years. Ding ding ding, bat bat.
Well, look at it this way.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Don't count. He's just straight.
Think about this though. You know the risk when you buy a boxing pay-per-view or MMA.
Yep.
Card subject to change doesn't mean 88 seconds in the main event of a wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah, not in a controlled environment.
Correct.
Of sorts,
And the crazy thing is he came in sober. So he came in, he was fine, checked in, was there on time and all that shit. And then, what happened.
Left him alone too long.
Yeah. The winner goes to Victory Road 88, the Drizzling Shit Award of the Hogan Era. We'll have to do for the positive. I know you love the Hogan Era, so we'll do a positive one too, maybe in season 2 or something. But for Johnny, for Lucha, for myself, in the Magna Jamigna, Jeff Hardy. Goodbye, everybody.